Let's dive into what's happening with the weather across the United States because things are really ramping up. A huge storm is currently impacting a large portion of the country, and it has taken quite an unexpected turn. Initially, it was already expected to bring dangerous blizzard conditions to areas stretching across the Midwest and Central Plains for several hours. However, new data now indicates that this storm is also set to generate a significant severe weather threat later this afternoon, particularly for parts of the Midwest. Some isolated severe storms could even develop further south, reaching into portions of the Deep South. As if that weren't enough, there's yet another major storm system developing, which is likely to hit over the weekend. That system could bring even more severe weather along with a substantial drop in temperatures, leading to much colder conditions across various regions. But before we get into the details, hit the subscribe button, like this video, and leave your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for your support. With all of that in mind, let's take a detailed look at what's unfolding today and what we can expect over the next several days. Right now, the storm system is centered over the Midwest and the Central Plains, delivering widespread snow across a vast stretch of land. Snow is currently falling heavily from northern Kansas all the way through northern Iowa, and the road conditions have already become extremely hazardous. The combination of heavy snowfall and intense wind gusts, some reaching speeds between 40 and 60 MFA, is leading to full-on blizzard conditions in multiple states. Visibility is drastically reduced, making travel treacherous, if not impossible, in some areas. Meanwhile, in the Ohio Valley and much of the Midwest, things have remained relatively quiet so far. However, that calm won't last long. Later this afternoon, severe weather is expected to intensify rapidly, particularly in regions like Illinois, Indiana, and even Wisconsin. Storms are likely to become more powerful as the day progresses, bringing damaging winds, large hail, and the potential for tornadoes. Over on the West Coast, there's some light rain activity happening in parts of northern Washington and northern California, but it's nowhere near as intense as the recent atmospheric river events that battered those areas compared to what we've seen in the past few weeks. The rainfall on the West Coast today is much less significant. As for the severe weather threat unfolding later today, meteorologists have been closely monitoring storm developments, and the Storm Prediction Center has now upgraded central and eastern Illinois to an enhanced risk level. This upgrade is largely due to the increased likelihood of tornadoes forming in this area. In addition, a slight risk has been issued for a broader region, covering parts of northern Illinois, southwestern Michigan, western Ohio, and nearly the entire state of Indiana. Further south, there is a marginal risk of severe storms stretching from Michigan and Iowa all the way down into portions of Mississippi and Alabama. The situation is evolving quickly, and with the potential for tornadoes, it's critical to stay informed and be prepared. Our primary concerns for today's storms will be strong, damaging winds and large hail. However, the tornado risk is what stands out the most, especially for central and eastern Illinois. Given the conditions in place, there is a possibility of a strong tornado or two, potentially reaching F2 strength or higher. This is a serious situation, and if you live in or near the affected areas, you need to have multiple ways to receive weather alerts and a tornado action plan ready. Forecast models suggest the most intense tornado risk will develop between 3 p.m. and 8 p.m. Central Time, with the greatest focus on Illinois and Indiana. There's also a smaller risk extending into western Ohio, southwestern Michigan, and even parts of northern Kentucky. Early in the afternoon, around 1 to 2 p.m. Storm activity will begin to develop in western and northern Illinois, though these initial storms aren't expected to be too severe. By 2-3 p.m., some of these storms will start strengthening, bringing the potential for large hail, damaging winds, and possibly an isolated tornado. Areas like eastern Iowa may also need to be on alert during this time. Between 4 and 6 p.m., the tornado threat becomes more concerning, particularly for northeastern Illinois. Cities in and around the Chicago suburbs, as well as areas like Bloomington and Champaign, could experience isolated tornadoes with the possibility of one or more strong tornadoes forming by 6 to 7 p.m. The storms will continue moving eastward toward Chicago and into western Indiana. There is even a chance that the Chicago metro area itself could see a tornado. The threat for Indiana has also increased in recent hours, with the potential for tornadoes persisting between 5 and 8 p.m. in central and western Indiana. After sunset, around 8 to 9 p.m. The storms will start to weaken, but some lingering severe weather may still occur in parts of southern Michigan and western Ohio before the risk diminishes completely by around 10 or 11 p.m. While today's severe weather threat is significant, this storm is also delivering a powerful winter component, with a massive blizzard ongoing across the central plains and parts of the Midwest. Kansas and Nebraska have already experienced heavy snowfall, with reports of thunders now occurring this morning. The snow is continuing to spread into Iowa, and blizzard conditions will soon ramp up in Wisconsin as well. Some of the heaviest snowfall is expected to fall along the Kansas-Missouri border, central Iowa, and central Wisconsin. What makes this storm even more unusual is the fact that some areas, like parts of Illinois, could experience tornadoes in the afternoon, only to see accumulating snowfall just a few hours later. It's an extreme weather swing, going from severe thunderstorms to winter conditions in less than a day. But before we get into the details, hit the subscribe button, like this video, and leave your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for your support. Tomorrow morning, snowfall will extend into Michigan, Indiana, and parts of Ohio, though it will be much lighter compared to what's hitting the Central Plains today. Some areas as far south as Tennessee and northern Georgia might even see a few snowflakes early in the morning. The storm will then continue moving northeastward, though significant snowfall accumulation is mainly expected in the higher elevations of northern New England. Beyond today's storm, attention is already shifting toward another major system developing over the weekend. Early projections indicate that this next storm will bring another round of severe weather, particularly across East Texas and northern Mississippi by Sunday. The Storm Prediction Center has already highlighted a slight risk for parts of the Deep South. While this system is currently expected to be driven more by hail and damaging winds rather than a major tornado outbreak, tornadoes can't be ruled out entirely, given the forecasted wind shear. While severe weather will be a big story, the cold side of this system is just as concerning, if not more so. Blizzard warnings have now been issued for parts of Nebraska and northwestern Kansas, while winter storm watches extend from eastern Nebraska into Iowa, southern Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan's Upper Peninsula. This storm is going to deliver heavy snowfall in some locations, and with strong winds accompanying the snow, travel conditions will quickly deteriorate. By Wednesday morning, snowfall will be increasing across Nebraska and Kansas, right? As people are heading out for the morning commute, that snow will continue moving eastward throughout the day, spreading into Iowa, southern Minnesota, and Wisconsin. Some of the heaviest snowfall is expected from Des Moines to Ally Cross and up toward Marquette, Michigan, as the storm tracks eastward. Cities like Rockford, Peoria, Chicago, Grand Rapids, and Lansing could also see accumulating snow by Wednesday night into early Thursday morning. One of the most dangerous aspects of this storm will be the strong winds. Some areas, particularly across Nebraska and northern Kansas, could see wind gusts reaching 70 miles per hour. Over in Iowa, wind gusts could hit 60 miles per hour. And when you combine those winds with heavy snow, visibility will quickly drop to near whiteout conditions. For anyone planning to travel Wednesday morning in Nebraska, Kansas, or western Iowa, be prepared for extremely low visibility, possibly a quarter mile or less at times. These blizzard conditions will shift eastward throughout the day, affecting Iowa, southern Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan by Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Snowfall accumulations from this system will be significant in some areas. Right now, projections are showing 3 to 6 inches of snow for much of Wisconsin, the upper peninsula of Michigan, and southeastern Minnesota. The Rochester area, as well as regions north and west of Des Moines, could also see several inches of accumulation. Omaha, Lincoln, and northwest Kansas are also in line for measurable snowfall, and with strong winds in play, drifting snow could be a concern. As we head into Thursday, March 20th, temperatures will remain cool behind the storm system, especially in areas where fresh snow has fallen. That snow cover will help keep temperatures lower from Omaha through Des Moines and LA Cross. Meanwhile, much of the eastern U.S. will stay relatively cool as well, while warmer temperatures begin creeping back into the central and southern plains heading into the weekend. Looking beyond this storm, we are already watching the potential for additional storm systems later in the week. By Friday, another disturbance will move in from the northwest, and by the weekend, an even more significant system could bring severe weather to the southern U.S. The Storm Prediction Center has already highlighted Sunday, March 24th as a day to watch, with a slight risk of severe weather in parts of Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. If moisture levels recover quickly, we could see another round of storms capable of producing strong winds, hail, and even tornadoes. Heading into next week, the final days of March will bring another pattern shift. Cooler air will linger in the eastern U.S. while warmer conditions build in the west. This setup could lead to another significant storm system by the end of the month, possibly bringing a mix of severe weather and heavy snow. If you found this update helpful, don't forget to hit that like button and share this video so more people can stay informed. If you haven't subscribed yet, now is the perfect time to do so. You'll always have the latest weather updates right here. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. And as always, stay safe out there.